Positive affirmations. Affirmations are one of the oldest techniques for improving self-esteem. They are generally used to change beliefs. If I believe I'm a loser or I don't believe in my abilities, then I use positive affirmations to reprogram my subconscious mind and overwrite negative thoughts with positive ones. However, the biggest problem is that countless studies have found that they don't work. But why? Why doesn't repeating "I'm awesome" to myself help? They don't work for a very simple principle. Continuously repeating something that we believe is false won't change our minds. Need proof? Try repeating that you can walk on water. I have all the abilities to walk on water. Say it as many times as you want. What will happen? You certainly won't convince yourself that you can walk on water. If you believe you have low self-esteem and you're not worth anything as a person, you can't force yourself to change your mind with mere positive affirmations. If what you affirm is in stark contrast to a deeply rooted and unconscious belief, then an internal conflict will arise every time you use this type of affirmation. But what about all those who say positive affirmations have definitely worked for them? It's probably just an impression. Greenwald and colleagues demonstrated this over 30 years ago in the study Double-Blind Tests of Subliminal Self-Help Audio Tapes. The study involved 237 participants who were asked to repeat positive affirmations to improve their memory and self-esteem. 80 out of these 237 participants claimed that they believed their memory and self-esteem had improved, but unfortunately this was just a mere perception, an illusion. After some tests, they found that their memory had not improved at all, nor had their self-esteem. If your goal is to change your mindset, force yourself to believe you're beautiful, intelligent, lovable, or have great self-esteem, forget about positive affirmations. They only worsen your situation. There's much more to say about affirmations. Actually, there's a very specific case in which they can work. Let me know in the comments if you want a detailed video on the topic. Now, I'll rate the effectiveness of all these habits. The rating on affirmations, 2 out of 10. Dopamine detox. Detox is short for detoxification and can mean removal of addictive substances from the body or removal of poisonous qualities from the body. To cut to the chase, if a person were to ever remove all their dopamine from the body, terrible things would happen. Why? The answer lies in the definition of dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter and, as such, essential for many vital functions of our body. One of these functions is motor control. I'm sure you've heard of Parkinson's disease at least once in your life, a disorder that causes involuntary or uncontrollable movements such as tremors, rigidity, and coordination difficulties. It's a disease that worsens over time and can lead to the inability to walk or speak. Parkinson's occurs for one reason only, because at least 80% of the body's dopamine-producing cells in a part of the brain die. Among its many functions, dopamine also regulates motivation and our mood. The idea behind the dopamine detox movement is not to remove dopamine from our body, but to reduce and, in some cases, eliminate all highly dopaminergic activities. These activities are the ones that make us lose motivation to do difficult but important things that bring us satisfaction. Playing video games, watching videos on YouTube or TikTok, watching porn, or eating ultra-processed food full of sugars and fats are just some of the activities that release a great amount of dopamine in our brain. None of these activities are inherently evil. What makes them harmful are the quantities and the addiction. Developing an addiction means being unable to control the instinct to watch another video, play another 5 hours on PlayStation, or eat that delicious pizza. Additionally, if all these behaviors cause problems in your life, such as being overweight, unable to work on your business, or doing schoolwork, then they become harmful. The problem is that at this point, doing homework or starting to work feels like the most boring and tedious thing in the world. On the contrary, engaging in all these dopaminergic activities is so easy and enjoyable. They help us release tension and feel better, at least in the short term. I say in the short term because then the guilt comes to devour us. Dopamine detox, therefore, consists of a period of abstinence from all these activities. This period will bring a lot of boredom, and boredom is positive. It means we are making progress. There will come a time when the boredom is so high that doing those things that were once difficult and boring but important won't be so bad anymore. In fact, you will regain the pleasure and satisfaction of doing them. Disclaimer: be careful about detoxing abruptly with certain substances, like alcohol or benzodiazepines, as you could risk your life. I recommend consulting a professional. Also, there are cases where dopamine detox may not help much at all. For example, in cases of severe depression, severe ADHD, and Parkinson's disease. These cases can only be effectively treated with medication. Even in these situations, seeking medical advice can be very helpful. Rating 8 out of 10. Monk mode. The name monk comes from the Latin word monachus. A monk is someone who voluntarily chooses isolation, originally for religious reasons. This lifestyle is characterized by strict discipline and abstinence from all forms of indulgence. Today, in the world of self-improvement, it no longer has a religious connotation, but aims to maximize productivity. For a predetermined period, it involves minimizing or even eliminating contact with other people unless it is functional to the set goal. Additionally, it involves eliminating all distractions that do not aid your goal. This means no outings, alcohol consumption, junk food, social media, or video games. Everything that is not related to the main objective is eliminated. One of the exceptions allowed in this mode is physical activity. Monk mode is a highly effective strategy, and many experience tremendous productivity and motivation during these periods. Some claim they can do in 1 month what they used to do in a year. Perhaps being 12 times more productive is an exaggeration, but the increase in productivity is incredible. Rating 8.4 out of 10. It's a wonderful tool, though the less pleasant and somewhat dangerous aspect is the tendency to continue this isolation for excessively long periods. Reading. Reading is fantastic. In 4 to 5 hours of reading, you can acquire decades of experience and research from experts in various fields. Personally, I believe reading is far superior to watching YouTube videos for one reason. It can take a person 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years to write a book. Creating a video can take some people a few hours, or at best a few weeks. The difference in time spent, research quality, and energy invested is evident in the final product. Rating 8.3 out of 10. Grounding. Grounding, also known as earthing, involves direct contact with the Earth's surface. For example, walking barefoot on the ground, sand, or grass. Hugging trees also falls under grounding. Proponents of this method claim that it allows the body to absorb electrons from the Earth, neutralizing free radicals, alleviating pain, and reducing inflammation. Although some small studies suggest possible benefits, rigorous studies have found none. The biggest issue with the few studies supporting this practice is methodological limitations, such as small sample sizes and the absence of control groups. Rating 4.9 out of 10. Physical exercise. Physical exercise not only makes us look better, but also boosts our energy levels, significantly increases our life expectancy, enhances our immune system, improves our mood, and reduces stress, among many other benefits. Do I need to say more? Rating 9.95 out of 10. Healthy eating. Eating healthy means minimizing or eliminating everything considered unhealthy food, such as fast food, sugary drinks, deep-fried foods, sweets, or ultra-processed foods. Just remember, not all processed foods are bad. For example, protein powder is processed food, but not harmful. Additionally, in very small quantities, none of these foods cause significant harm to a healthy individual. Eating healthy also means achieving a sufficient or preferably optimal ratio of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Furthermore, it means trying to eat a varied diet to also meet our essential vitamin and mineral needs. Having a balanced and healthy diet is essential. Rating 9.61 out of 10. NoFap. NoFap involves abstaining from masturbation, with proponents claiming numerous benefits. However, research suggests otherwise, indicating that it's largely ineffective and may even be counterproductive. This is because the desire to masturbate can become so strong that it significantly reduces our willpower during the day and makes us more easily distracted. The only possible benefit is increasing your discipline by resisting temptation. However, this option quickly falls apart since you can train your willpower with activities that are actually beneficial, such as following a diet, exercising regularly, or meditating. The situation is different if there is an addiction to masturbation that reduces the quality of life. If you don't spend hours masturbating, you don't need to do anything. Rating 2 out of 10. Law of attraction became famous thanks to the book The Secret, is one of the most well-known nonsense concepts in the world of self-improvement. It involves visualizing achieving a particular result, such as earning $1 million. However, visualization must be done properly. It must be very vivid, and while doing it, you must feel all those wonderful positive emotions that you would feel after achieving your goal. This is crucial because the emotions you feel and the visualizations you make will resonate at specific energetic frequencies that will then attract from the universe what you desire. Promoters of this law of attraction talk about quantum mechanics and energies, understanding nothing about the subject. Not only does this crap not work, but it's absolutely counterproductive, and it has been demonstrated in dozens and dozens of studies. Scientific researcher Gabrielle Eddingen has extensively shown how visualization done following the principles of the law of attraction not only fails to achieve the desired goal, but actually significantly worsens the chances of achieving that goal. This deserves its own rating, -100 out of 10. Gratitude Journal. Humans are not naturally predisposed to gratitude. Most of us are wired to seek out and notice dangers and problems. This is at least according to evolutionary theory, which suggests that humans are programmed to survive. Often, being programmed for survival is at odds with the pursuit of happiness. If you were to ask a group of 1,000 people about their day, it's likely that the majority would recount negative experiences, discussing problems or areas where they fell short. It's a common human tendency to vividly remember the bad and quickly forget the good. This can lead to a distorted perception of life, where everything seems negative and terrible, even when it's not. Having a sort of gratitude journal forces us to remember the positive experiences we had during the day. This helps us put into perspective all the negative things and problems we encounter daily. But what if nothing positive happened to me during the day? We all have days like this. That said, remembering how fortunate you are can help. Remember that you don't have a terminal illness, that many of your loved ones are still alive, that you are self-sufficient, and that you weren't born in a third-world country where you risk starving to death. All these things can bring gratitude back into your life. Gratitude is an emotion that can be trained, and if one of your life goals is to be happier, training gratitude will undoubtedly help you achieve this goal. Among some of the studies demonstrating the effects of having a gratitude journal are Emmons and McCullough's 2003 study, Seligman and colleagues' 2005 study, and Wood, Froh, and Garrity's 2010 study. Rating 8.1 out of 10. Deep work. Deep work involves setting aside predetermined blocks of time to focus on working on something important. Usually, these blocks are taken at the beginning of the day before engaging with emails, social media, and various news. For a set period, for example, 90 minutes, one focuses solely on the most important task, eliminating all possible distractions. How do you find the thing to focus on? By answering the question from one of my favorite productivity books, what's the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Rating 9.1 out of 10. Eat the frog. This involves completing the most difficult, frustrating, and boring task first thing in the morning, before anything else. The problem with this advice is that if the most annoying thing for you to do is household chores, then spending the first 60 minutes of your day doing a similar activity isn't the wisest choice. We all suffer from something called decision fatigue, which is the worsening of the quality of our decisions over time. Morning is when we are at the peak of our mental abilities. The more hours pass, the more tired we become. Therefore, it makes sense not to do the most annoying thing, but the most important thing. Answering the question seen in the deep work section. Rating 6.4 out of 10. Make your bed. This is a piece of advice that became very famous from the book written by William Harry McRaven, a U.S. Navy admiral and former commander of the Joint Special Operations Command, the organization responsible for killing Osama bin Laden in 2011. The make your bed concept is closely linked to the eat the frog philosophy. The idea is to do something that nobody likes, namely, making your bed. Make your bed comes from the idea that starting the day with a simple and productive activity can create positive momentum for the rest of the day. Although there are no specific scientific studies directly examining the concept of making your bed and its impact on discipline or productivity, it's something that many people say has helped them. Personally, I haven't noticed any benefits. Rating 6.2 out of 10. Morning sunlight. Going out in the morning first and foremost wakes you up properly. helps regulate circadian cycles, improving sleep, boosts mood, and facilitates the production of vitamin D. Although it's not the most revolutionary activity in the world, it requires little effort and yields excellent results. Rating 7.8 out of 10. Reflection Journal. It involves, at the end of the day, reflecting on how the day went, what you did well, what you think you could improve, how you felt, what were the prevailing emotions, how the day's performances were. If you made mistakes, ask yourself why and how you can prevent them from happening again. Not dedicating time to reflection eventually makes you hit a wall. You can't progress, you can't improve, and you can't solve the problems that come your way. Dedicating time to reflection is very useful in understanding if something isn't working, and with a bit of practice, you'll also be able to understand what isn't working, and then create a strategy to solve the problem. Not doing this process usually leads to finding yourself in one of the most commonly used defense mechanisms by people, known as avoidance. Instead of facing problems, you end up doing everything to avoid thinking about them, and often this can translate into destructive behaviors like alcohol use, drugs, social media addiction, video game addiction, and so on. Rating 9.1 out of 10. Meditation. Meditation is a practice that helps achieve mental clarity, emotional relaxation, and increased awareness. There are many types of meditation. Here are some of the most famous. Focused breathing. You focus on your breath, and each time thoughts arise, you bring your focus back to your breath. The goal is to feel the air entering and exiting your nostrils. Mindfulness meditation. The goal is to focus on the present moment, including the sensations and thoughts you are experiencing, without judging or trying to change them. Body scan. This involves mentally scanning the parts of your body and focusing on perceiving all the sensations you can feel, whether they are uncomfortable, painful, pleasant, or neutral. Again, the intent is to accept these sensations without trying to change them. Mantra. You use a mantra, a word, or a short phrase repeatedly. This can be done mentally or aloud. Some of the most incredible benefits of meditation, proven through scientific studies, include stress reduction, improved emotional regulation, enhanced concentration and cognitive functions, better sleep quality, improved pain management, boosted immune function, increased willpower, and self-discipline. If you're interested in meditation, click the link in the description for the video covering all the existing meditations. If you don't find it, subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified as soon as it's published. The description also includes at least one scientific study supporting each mentioned benefit. Rating 9.9 out of 10. Sleep routine. The consequences of insufficient sleep can have a significant impact on your physical and mental health. Here are some of these consequences: impaired cognitive function, mood disorders, weakened immune system, increased risk of chronic diseases, weight gain and metabolic issues, decreased libido and sexual dysfunctions, impaired physical performance, increased risk of mental disorders, memory impairment. I've included links to studies supporting each of these consequences in the description. Clearly, sleep is quite important. Here's how to improve it. Don't eat anything at least 3 hours before going to bed. Stop drinking 2 hours before bed to reduce the likelihood of waking up to go to the bathroom. Stop using electronic devices that emit blue light 1 hour before sleeping. Try to go to bed at the same time every day. Ensure your room is completely dark. If not possible, consider using a sleep mask. Keep your room as quiet as possible. Less noise equals better sleep. If this is impossible, try noise-canceling headphones or white noises. Maintain the room temperature between 60 and 66 degrees Fahrenheit, but make sure you are well covered. Consider doing relaxation-oriented meditation exercises before bedtime. Monitor your diet. Exercise in the morning or afternoon. Avoid doing it in the evening, as the increase in adrenaline and other hormones can lead to difficulties falling asleep and reduced sleep quality. Limit caffeine consumption to the morning. In some people, the effects of caffeine can last more than 12 hours. Consult a doctor about the possibility of taking a melatonin supplement. Don't stress too much if you don't always follow your sleep routine perfectly. Excessive worry can lead to insomnia. If you still can't sleep well and sufficiently after following all these tips, consider consulting a doctor or visiting a sleep clinic. Over 60 conditions can affect your sleep quality. Getting good and sufficient sleep is one of the most important things you can do for your health. Rating 9.95 out of 10. Cold exposure. Many often use cold showers or cold plunges to test themselves and improve their discipline. Although there are no studies confirming this thesis, the physical effects are undoubtedly interesting. Here are the main ones: improvement in vascular circulation, reduction of inflammation, increased recovery speed. Rating 6.9 out of 10. Cold approach or highly unlikely requests. Approaching a girl out of the blue and asking for her phone number or asking for a discount when ordering coffee at a bar are situations with a high likelihood of rejection. The idea behind doing this type of activity is to increase courage, especially to increase our tolerance for rejection. In a 2003 study, Eisenberger and colleagues demonstrated that rejection is one of those situations that physiologically activates the same receptors in the brain as when experiencing physical pain. Rejection is literally equivalent to experiencing physical pain. Voluntarily seeking rejection can increase our tolerance to it, so when we eventually face it, it won't be as painful. Rating 7.7 out of 10. Scheduling the day and activities. Planning activities has been shown to significantly help reduce stress, improve time management, decrease procrastination, and thus increase productivity. Rating 8.5 out of 10. Waking up at 5 in the morning. This idea has become famous worldwide thanks to the book The 5 a.m. Club. Waking up at 5 in the morning can be incredibly productive. This is because it's a time when most people are still asleep, and you have the opportunity to work on the most important things without the risk of being interrupted or distracted. Moreover, there seems to be a sort of placebo effect in the idea of being disciplined in waking up early and being productive while others are asleep. That said, people have different sleep cycles, and waking up at such a time might not be ideal for everyone. Additionally, the day remains 24 hours regardless of whether you wake up at 5 or 10 in the morning. Rating 7.3 out of 10. Investing in yourself. I believe investing time and money to improve yourself, learn new things, develop new skills, and have new experiences is one of the most important and rewarding things life has to offer. Rating 10 out of 10.